Authorized.
Folks, this is Ryan from Rogue Parts here, and we're going to do a iPad 2 Wi-Fi antenna replacement. As you see, the Wi-Fi antenna is a little torn there. It's pretty easy for that to happen on the teardown of an iPad 2 because it is stuck to the digitizer. So we're going to take it out and replace it. First things first, there's a bunch of screws around that area. There's the screw that you see the technician working on the device taking out now. And there's these two small screws. These are pretty small, and you want to manage them as effectively as you can and kind of put them next to each other so you don't lose them because they're very small. Also putting them back in is a giant pain in the butt, and we will get to that when we get to that part. All right, and now we've got one more screw. We've taken those three screws out, and we've got one more screw, which is basically just above those, which is right there. We're going to just kind of unscrew that, get that the heck out of the way, and that's basically it for that whole side of that Wi-Fi antenna. Taking those screws out. All right, now what we have to do is unplug this from the board. That tape right there covers the charge port. We got to lift that tape up. It's just facilitative black tape. Get it out of the way. We're using some pretty nifty tweezers to do that. It unplugs the charge port, so you want to be conscious of that when you go to put the device back together to make sure that the charge port is plugged in, that you keep the charge port plugged. You plug the charge port back in. We actually do it right there so that we're not having to think about that later. And then that shield that you see right in front of you, that shield there, we need to get underneath of that shield. So we're going to take, that's an X-Acto knife, otherwise known as a utility knife, and we're just going to kind of get under that shield, not going all the way to the surface, but basically just below the bottom so that we can get that thing a little lift. And as you can see, that's how it's lifting up. We just got a little bit of lift on that shield. We're going to go from the back right of that shield and basically do the same thing so we have enough leverage to lift the entire thing as one unit, and then we're going to go from there. So we're just kind of trying to get this X-Acto knife in there so that we can achieve the lift that we need to pull this thing up, and we got it. All right, so there it is, folks. It just pulls right up like that. It's very, very simple. As long as you get under it, you're good to go. That is a daughter board. We need to get in between that daughter board with something like a double-sided metal spudger. You could use a nail file kind of device, and lift that daughter board up. It lifts up just like that. It plugs into the board. You'll see once you lift it, and you see that connector right there where it plugs into the board, and that right there is where the Wi-Fi connector is connected to it. If you need to pause this video at any time to go through this again or to look at a still image, do so and just come back. All right, so now we're unplugging the antenna diode, I think it's called, from that daughter board, and that's it. We've got the screws out, we've got the antenna out, and we're at the point now where we're just going to pull this thing out. So that's it. It kind of just separates from the frame like that. It's adhesed underneath of that charge port cable. And you can just sort of do exactly what the technician that's working on the device is doing and pull it directly out of there, and now you've got your clean removal. That foam right there is just sort of foam that comes on the device stock. You can take that off because that will come on the new Wi-Fi antenna when you put that on there. So we're just going to take a nifty little tool here and kind of scrape that stuff off. You can use your fingers. You can use anything that you have that you can use that would serve the same purpose as scraping that foam off. That tool is among the a couple of other tools in a tool set that we use that really does the job pretty efficiently, and we'll try to link to that if we remember on the page where this tutorial is going. All right, so now we've got the Wi-Fi antenna itself. That's an iPad 2 Wi-Fi antenna. And it's really pretty simple. We're just going to do the reverse stuff. The only, I guess, nuances are really how to position it all, how to hold it all, how to hold the daughter board as you're trying to plug that diode in, and then how to put it all back together. So we're putting the diode underneath first. Okay, you put it underneath of that kind of like little square perimeter where it goes first, so that we have enough ability to pull it, and then we can plug it in right to the bottom of that daughter board. We're not putting the daughter board in quite yet. We're just going to plug it in so that we have it there, and then we can just slip the daughter board in. So we pulled it through so we could have enough leverage, enough length of that thing to do this, to plug it into that diode, to plug it into where the diode goes on that super small motherboard, daughter board. And now we're going to just situate it in place and plug it back in. We're situating it in place, and right where the technician's thumb is right now, that's where that plugs in. You'll feel it clip in. Make sure that that clips in. You will feel it clip, and you know that now it's in place. It comes with adhesive, typically Wi-Fi antennas, so you just sort of tear that adhesive off, and that's the same tape that was in their stock, which got it to essentially secure underneath of that charge port. You do not have to replicate that situation at all, as it's not going to inhibit functionality at any capacity. But if you want to be neat about it, which we like to as much as we can, then you can get in there and kind of just shimmy it in there. Clearly, you have to finagle it to get it to work. And just sort of take a spudger or a plastic spudger or otherwise kind of pointy like iOS device repair tool and get it in there so that you can push that thing in there and secure the thing. So it's essentially trying to replicate originality as much as possible. All right, now we've got everything aligned. There's adhesive on the back with that foam thing that we tore off in the beginning there, and we're just going to place this antenna just where the one that we took off that was semi-ripped was, and we're going to proceed with the annoying screws. Okay, so we've got everything in place. Everything looks pretty good at this point, and we're going to proceed. All right, so where that has to be aligned, that small kind of holder for that screw, it has to be pretty particular, and it's a good idea to take what the technician was using there, which was a spudger, to sort of align that little small piece of aluminum up with the hole that's underneath of it so that you can get that screw in. All right, now we're going to insert this other screw. Easy as cake, just how it looks. If we could get this thing to stick to our screwdriver here, I think we'd be all right. And do we got a winner? Yep, we got a winner. Okay, we're in to go. We're good to go. All right, so 2 screws left, 2 down, 2 to go. Let's make this happen. These are the annoying screws, so we're going to try to get that in without up. And there is the symbolism of annoying stuff. Okay, so it's working. Nope, didn't work. Haha, tricked you. Tricked us. Everybody's tricked. It's not going to work. It's never going to work. Turn the video off, folks. Okay, let's see if we can actually make this work this time. All right, third go around. It's like, all right, I really got to be super careful this time. Let's make this happen. 1 more screw to go, and we are good. And we're going to try to get it in without problem. Just got to do it a little slowly. Got to be deliberate with it, and we're good to go. That's it, folks. Now that antenna is in there, it's good to go. You got to place that shield back over the daughter board on the right there, and make sure that the charge port is plugged back in. That's it, folks. Thanks for watching.